neuroimaging of the developing brain and the impact of nutrition. So using these technologies, can you really see something that a nutritional intervention like giving DHA is changing the brain?
Yeah, I think we can. I think in the sense that there's always this sort of fundamental tenet of neuroscience that any sort of cognitive change is mirrored by a functional or structural change in the brain. And so if we're making the assumption that any nutritional intervention is going to have a cognitive outcome, then that's going to be mediated by something structurally in the brain. And so we would expect then that we can measure that and possibly, and the hope is that we can actually measure it in a more specific and sensitive manner than traditional cognitive measures that tend to be more gross or more broad in their nature. So as you say, rather than measuring overall IQ, we can actually measure structure or function in a specific brain region. And so we can do things in a bit more sensitive and specific manner.
So what did you find? You compared formula-fed infants who received additional DHA supplementation versus non-supplemented infants. So what was the difference? What could you see?
Yeah, so we kind of did a stepwise approach to that. So the first bit was always to have breastfeeding as sort of a basic, comparative group, and then to all formulas, and then formulas broken down into individual brands, as it were. And so those each have unique values of DHA, ARA, and other nutrients. And so, basically what we found was that relative to the breastfeeding group, certainly the formula-fed group as a whole had slower development in various brain regions, pretty much diffuse throughout the brain, but certainly in later maturing regions, frontal, temporal areas. But then across the different brands, they showed differential developmental trajectories as well in those same regions. So it kind of goes back to this point that nutrition is important, and that there's still possible work to be done, that you can, that differing nutritional profiles have and are reflected by different developmental patterns.
Okay, thank you.